everyone, welcome to LMC Varsity Sports. Alongside Stephen Astis, I'm Rob Moretti, here inside the Palmer Gym for a League Boys basketball matchup between the Mamaroneck Tigers and the White Plains Tigers. And Steve, Mamaroneck having a strong season so far. They're at 7-2, just coming off a 2-1 trip and tournament play up in New Hampshire over the break. White Plains has been a bit of a struggle so far. They're at 4-6, but both teams looking to improve their league standing today.
Coach Mayfield and Coach Carver have known each other for years, decades even, as long as Coach Carver has been here at Mamaroneck, took Coach Carver under his wing and has been a great tutor for him. So this is a tough matchup for them. As far as the players on the court, Mamaroneck is exactly where they want to be this point in the season, 7-2, not necessarily exceeding expectations. They have very high hopes. And as for White Plains, as you said, they've been struggling a little bit. They have over 13 feet of player on the bench with injuries. They've been hit by the injury bug all season, and both teams are outside shooting-based teams, so that makes it difficult. When your shot is not on, it makes it very tough sledding.
Well, we'll see if White Plains can stand against the task of the Mamaroneck defense. We'll have the opening tip-off, introductions, all that coming up next on LMC Varsity Sports.
Meet White Plains. White Plains is coached by Spencer Mayfield, assisted by Devon Wilson, Tyrone Taylor, and Sands. Here are the starters. A 6-foot senior forward, number 0, Alex Mayeri. A 5'11" sophomore guard, number 2, Isaiah Murphy. A 6'1" senior guard, number 11, Miles Hardy. A 5'10" senior guard, number 12, Michael Camino. And a 6'3" freshman forward, number 21, Amari Miller. And now, your Tigers of Mamaroneck High School. Mamaroneck is coached by Tyrone Carver in his 13th year. He is assisted by Matt Alonge, Greg Cuddy, Robert Cruz, Kay Geisar, and Trevor Gimme. Here are the starters. Number 11, a 6-foot senior guard, James Mineta. A 5'10" senior guard, number 12, Isaiah Thomas. A 6'3" senior guard, number 15, Jared Victor. A 6-foot junior forward, number 20, James Smith. And number 24, 6'5", junior forward, Will Sharpsky. And also introducing captain number 3, a junior, Ethan Renner.
Welcome back. Opening tip-off won by White Plains. Tell your Tigers apart by their stripes. Mamaroneck in the white, White Plains in the black. And we are underway here at the Palmer Gym. It says Atenito back up top for Murphy. Miles Hardy stripped away by Smith. Loose ball picked up by Atenito. And it's kicked out back to Atenito, who misses. And Isaiah Thomas on the rebound, pushed up quickly to Shark as who gets the roll.
Great job by Thomas to recognize Shark as he gutted up the court. Led him nicely for that layup.
Agnito nearly lost it, able to get it to Hardy. Inside, that's Amari Miller, tied up to 2.
Mamaroneck rotated well. Shane Smith just a hair too late to get that pass into the lane.
Fast pace to start the game. That one over the head of Sharkazy, which is saying something. 6'5" forward. Hardy. Miller back outside. Carrying in was Mayeri. May have got away with a walk. Shot was no good. Push to Sharkazy. This time the connection's good. No foul. He gets his own rebound and puts it in.
So, Rob, we're already seeing the problem that White Plains is going to have with that lack of height. Injured on the bench. One of their players has a fractured foot. The other one had shoulder surgery, and so both of them missing. Not sure for how long, but obviously Sharkazy is going to feast down low.
It'll be a big game for. It's a 5-second violation.
Shane Smith, a tenacious defender and rebounder, and that is why he's in the starting lineup. Fantastic football player and an all-around great athlete.
I saw Smith as a sophomore last year on 3 varsity teams, so clearly the athletic ability is there. And now you see him starting to grow into being able to play these sports at the varsity level. Smith around to Mineta. Thomas, he'll launch a contested 3, and, well, that happened.
Well, it looked like Isaiah was just coming around that turn a little quick to get that shot up, and he didn't seem like he was fully squared. We've seen him hit three-pointers from all over the court, so you know that he does not lack confidence, and that's a great thing in a shooter, but that time it just wasn't the right spot.
Tigers do keep possession. No reset on the shot clock. It's down to 15. Mineta guarded closely by Hardy. Double team is tipped and stolen away. Murphy is fouled on his way up.
Good hustle defense there from Smith. Unfortunately, when both players are moving like that, even if you get all ball, unless it's absolutely clear, they're going to assume some contact and thus the foul called.
Mamaroneck a bit fortunate that wasn't called a shooting foul. It was kind of right on the line.
I think it is.
Oh, never mind. Looked like they were setting up for an inbound play.
Right. It did seem that way, but yeah, he definitely was on his way up with that shot, and that's why he got tied up.
Murphy makes the first. Chance here to tie the game up to 4 here, 2 minutes in.
Number 3, Becky Woodbury in the game for
2 for 2 is Murphy. Not sure what the buzzer was for there, but we play on. Smith. Sharkazy. This is Bader. Back to Smith. Trying to move inside, got blocked. Amari Miller got the hand in there in front of the shot. Stays with Mamaroneck, 17 to shoot.
The length of Miller enabled him to get his hands on that ball even as Shane was crashing into him to get some separation.
Thomas in the wing, looking inside for Sharkazy. Spin move, fouled, and Sharkazy the line for 2.
Jared Bader leading the team in scoring so far this season. He's had a couple of 30-plus point nights, but for a three-point shooter, it does take some time to find your stroke and to find some time to make a shot.
And then all of a sudden you'll see Bader make like 5 threes in a minute, or it feels like it at least. Sharkazy 2 for 2. Puts the Mamaroneck Tigers back up by 2. Inside off the hands of Mayeri. Loose ball was picked up and Miller able to put it in off a near turnover.
Right place, right time there, Rob.
Thomas breaks the tie, 8-6 Mamaroneck. Kai Woodbury just checked in, had the touch there. This is Murphy now. Murphy puts up a floater, nice shot. We're all tied up at 8. Very competitive first quarter so far.
Coach Mayfield said his team is an outside shooting team as well, and part of the reason that they've struggled is that they've just been struggling from the outside.
Bader, turnaround layup, no good, out of bounds. I think that was the right call. They say last touch by Shane Smith.
As you can see already, Rob, Shane Smith, an all-hustle player. He's going to get to a lot of loose balls today.
Hardy. Back up top. Woodbury. Hardy again drives in. Offensive foul.
Great job there by O'Sharkazy to get his feet planted and anticipate whether it was a jump pass or a shot, anticipate the driving player and take the impact.
Tigers break the press quite well, but Thomas couldn't finish the play. Another offensive foul.
Looks like Thomas sold that a little bit.
Yeah, I thought they would have gotten Thomas there.
Right. I mean, he was definitely moving, bearing down on the offensive player, but that arm extended is always going to get called by the refs.
Stopping cheer by the officials. We'll see what the issue might be with the score table.
No substitutions yet by the Tigers. They might be going with a smaller rotation today. Ethan Renner expected to make his first appearance since getting mono and being out for the entire start of the season.
Gave him an introduction before the game, so expecting him back at some point on the floor. Thomas, open three, just a hair to the right. Rebound was by Hardy, who finally does give it up to Murphy. Murphy on his way in, puts it up too strong. Rebound by Smith. Thomas thought about another try at 3. Now Bader puts up a 3. That one back irons, no good. Rebound picked up by Murphy. Woodbury, crossover dribble, couldn't keep the handle. Thomas back to Bader, who had to settle it down. And didn't see Murphy there. Murphy will wait for some of his friends to catch up. Hardy puts up a 3 off the back iron. And rebound by Smith.
Once again, another rebound by Smith. It took 3 guys to out-rebound him down on the offensive end a few possessions ago, but he's made sure to get his hands on the ball every time since.
Bader with a look from the corner, yes! And timeout call by White Plains coach Spencer Mayfield. After that 3 by Bader, it's 11-8 Mamaroneck, 2:47 left first quarter. Make sure you stick around. Lots of action left on LMC Varsity Sports. I go to the timeout and see what White Plains draws up after the first 3-point of the game made by Jared Bader. Murphy guarded by Tommy Martin, who just checked in, and that worked. Martin with the steal, feeds Sharkazy. Always a good idea to feed the Shark.
Tommy Martin, a great combination of athleticism and shooting ability.
Hardy near the baseline, gives it up to Miller. Back out, Woodbury puts up a 3, no good. And Martin there all over the rebound. Thomas keeps feeding the Shark.
Deadly 2-man option there as Isaiah Thomas was allowed to get all the way into the lane before being checked, and it ended up being Sharkazy's man who slid over, which left Will Sharkazy wide open for the layup.
Woodbury was fouled on his way in.
And here comes Ethan Renner, his first appearance of the season. As we mentioned, Rob, after battling mono all winter long.
I hope Ethan's had a good recovery.
played.
He started last year on the baseball team as well as the basketball team. Starting center fielder as a sophomore last year. That inbound pass was tipped away by Martin to Renner, and he's back. Quick timeout called by Mamaroneck. Ethan Renner steps right on the court. 2 points. Can't do much better than that.
He definitely has a lot of energy now after being fully rested. A really fantastic finisher around the hoop, in addition to being a deadly outside shooter. When you've got Bader and Thomas and Renner, that becomes a deadly trio, because really you cannot guard every three-point shooter, especially when you've got Sarkisy down low.
It's interesting, Sarkisy just takes what is a good group of guards and makes them a fantastic group of guards. It's so hard as a defense to try to contain that many players at once on the inside and on the outside at the same time. Just can't do it.
And when you put a blue guy like Shane Smith in there in that type of rotation, that becomes a little bit of everything that you need. Harkening back to, say, the Knicks of the 80s and 90s, where you had Charles Oakley, who could make the shot, but he was there to do all the dirty work like Shane Smith, and then Ewing obviously playing, Sarkisy playing the Ewing role, and then having a variety of John Starks and Gerald Wilkins, and take your pick of Derek Harper or Mo Cheeks or Charlie Ward, all of them. You know, for all of us in our 30s and 40s who lived and died with that Knicks team, we've got a lot of reminiscence to this Tigers rotation here.
Hardy drives in, he's got 2 more. Game was 8-all and now 17-10. That one tipped away, picked up by Carver.
So that's one thing Ethan Renner is not up to speed on, I guess is the best way to put it. He's played on the varsity level, so he knows how tenacious the defending is of the guard play, but there's nothing like game play, so it's going to take a little bit for him to get used to it.
Pass thrown away, tipped out by Martin, so White Plains will keep it again. Minute 9 left in the first quarter. Mamaroneck, 9-2 run. That's an offensive foul.
That'll definitely get your juices flowing, being slammed to the ground like that. That looked more like a running back running through the line than it was a basketball player.
White Plains came out in the press, then backs off. Renner gets it across. Martin back to Renner, tied up and able to get the ball out. Timeout wasn't valid because the ball was loose. And Martin loses it to Maeri. He pushes it up to Murphy, who has to settle it back down. Maeri across to Miller. So that was Hibbert, and now a loose ball. Martin all over it, shot clock turned off.
The tough thing there for Martin on that previous possession was just putting your...
Martin shot good.
I was going to say putting the ball above your head when you're being double teamed and trapped like that.
That one goes out of bounds. Finally, Tigers ball, 13 seconds. Mamaroneck Tigers ball.
Definitely made up for it, did Martin, by nailing that mid-range jumper.
At first, it looked like, well, why don't you hold till last shot? You're giving White Plains a chance, but clearly everything worked out on the defensive end. Good chance they will hold for last shot here. 13 seconds to go in the quarter. Mineta fresh back into the game. Martin with 6. Across, Bader, open look at 3. No good that time, chance for another. It's out of bounds, and it's a White Plains ball with .2, so not much to do there.
Full court pass and a tip-in is all they have time for.
And I don't think that's going to count either way. So, we're through one quarter. After playing a real close game, Mamaroneck closes the quarter on an 11-2 run, and they open up a 9-point lead. They lead White Plains 19-10. After 8 minutes of play, we'll be right back with the second quarter next on LMC TV. Back to the second quarter, White Plains with possession, trailing by 9 against their league rival Mamaroneck Tigers.
Nearly a travel on that one, Rob.
Murphy contested shot, no good. Thomas with a rebound and a quick pass that was tipped and stolen. Thomas was trying to redirect it. White Plains back the other way. Shot by Hardy is good. Wild sequence there to start the second quarter.
Well, we had gotten through almost an entire quarter without messing up the fact that this is the Tigers versus the Tigers. There's a minor slip of the tongue there, but this is Mamaroneck versus White Plains, so bear with us, fans.
Thomas inside, Bader puts it up, it's good.
Great job by Jared Bader there to use the glass, realizing that he was in that awkward spot for a baseline jumper.
This is Nazir Hibbert. Outside for Hardy. His three in and out. And rebounded by Martin. Thomas with it now. Looking for Sharkazy. It's tipped away and stolen by Antonio Barcasel, who's just into the game. Hardy across. Hibbert puts up a three. No good. White Plains cold from beyond the arc to start this one.
And that was just what Coach Mayfield was worried would happen.
Mineta might have had space to drive in. Took the jumper from the free throw line. No good. White Plains slowing it down a bit here. Murphy drives in and makes it.
Good pull-up there by Murphy, realizing that going any further, he would have ended up in the trees. So he took what they gave him.
Martin, 20 to shoot. Bader for three, up, and will it go? No. Hardy across to Murphy. Murphy dribbling, driving, and a miss. Martin on the rebound. Mineta quickly the other way. Sharkazy. Hardy. Back and forth they go. Foul on the play.
That is Mineta's specialty, Rob, is the dribble, drive, and dish. He often does not shoot, but looks rather to give it up, which is what you want a point guard to do. So on that play, it was to Sharkazy's advantage.
So they wave that shot off. White Plains has possession. 23-16 the score in favor of the hometown Tigers. That three put up by Murphy, no good. And out of bounds off of Barcasel, so Mamaroneck will take over. White Plains back in the press, but easily broken by Bader. Bader lost the handle. White Plains ball.
Ended up dribbling it off his foot as he hesitated, trying to fake out his defender and go baseline.
His feet, you can't live with him, you can't walk without him.
Right.
Hibbert. Back out open, look for Hardy. Yes! That's the first three of the night for White Plains. And they've gotten it back within 4. Coach Carver wants a timeout. A strong opening to this second quarter for White Plains. Outscoring Mamaroneck 9-4 here through the first 3.5 minutes. So we'll take a break and return at the conclusion of the timeout. Mamaroneck up 4 when we get back. Mamaroneck ball out of the timeout. Gonna break the press. Martin gets it. and almost threw it away. Mineta able to settle it down. Back to Martin. Martin backs off. Smith to Bader.
Martin does a good job keeping his hand on top of that ball. It sure looked like a carry, but his hand never actually came underneath the ball.
Under 10 seconds to shoot. Bader loses it. It'll stay with Mamaroneck. 5 seconds on the shot clock, so time to break out a specialty play. Sharkazy can get it to fall. Fresh block. The Tigers have it back. The Mamaroneck Tigers get an offensive foul.
So an unfortunate turn of events there, Rob, as they never actually touched the rim with that shot. It was knocked back out, but there was no change of possession, so they had a new shot clock and then committed an offensive foul. It should have been a turnover anyway, as the shot clock should have expired. So instead, a foul charged to a Mamaroneck player.
That pass went wild. Mineta, Sharkazy. He's a shark in the water tonight. Hardy almost lost his footing. The three bounces off straight up in the air. Settled down by Smith. Pass came all the way up, tipped out of bounds.
That was a tough reception for Sharkazy to come down with. Had a lot of pace on that pass. I like the idea, and it was right on target. It was just a little too hot to handle.
Tough call for the officials. I couldn't tell whose hands it went off of.
In those situations, they usually go with the tallest player.
Three put up by Murphy is off, and that went off of Sharkazy and out of bounds.
Interestingly, that did have that popping sound that sounded like a jammed finger, but Sharkazy seems totally fine.
Quick inbound, turnaround shot, and one. Antonio Barcasel, welcome to the scorebook. And a chance to make it a one-possession game if he can complete three-point play. Which he does not, so it remains a 4-point lead from Mamaroneck. Bader and Sharkazy play catch. Bader's three just off. Rebounded a couple of times. Thomas had one, Sharkazy had one, but the ball's out of bounds, and it goes to White Plains.
Good effort on the offensive boards by both Sharkazy and Thomas. Unfortunately, neither shot could fall. The tip in for Sharkazy.
Stolen by Bader. And he'll finish. Looked like he wanted to think about dunking there, but didn't quite have the approach velocity to get it done.
He gave it about a dribble and a half thought, and then thought better of it. Didn't want to brick it off the front of the rim.
That one out of bounds. Mamaroneck ball. Especially in a game, but now it's a 6-point game. Take the easy bucket. Don't risk it.
Yeah, unless you're a surefire slam dunker, you want to save those for a bigger lead.
Mineta to Bader. Bader puts up a three. It's just off. Gets his own rebound. Pushes it to Thomas. Thomas with a crossover dribble. And back up top for Bader.
Well, that has got to drive Coach Mayfield absolutely nuts when a three-point shooter gets his own rebound in between three defenders.
Mamaroneck milking some clock here. Thomas with a three, just off the back iron. Sharkazy's rebound, he's fouled.
The way the game has been going so far, Rob, you would think that Mamaroneck would have a much bigger lead. But White Plains has essentially just made some shots, a couple threes, a couple mid-range jumpers. And then Barcasel's layup in the lane and the foul, and that is basically the only reason that Mamaroneck does not have a more commanding lead.
Into the game for Mamaroneck. Also into the game for White Plains number 4.
Shark as he missed his first.
Number 13, J.R. Norwood.
It's been a pretty quick second quarter, just a minute and a half left. It was either a foul or a lane violation there.
No, it was a loose ball foul there, trying to get some rebounding positioning. Shane Smith tries to throw his opponent out of the way. And the ref, unfortunately, was standing right there.
So White Plains ball trailing by 6. This is Murphy driving in, blocked by Smith.
Great redemption there on the opportunity by Smith to block that shot.
Back out to Smith. Quick pass to Thomas was covered. Martin goes inside for Shark as he back out to Manetta. Manetta pulls up, puts it up, no good. Sharkazy with the rebound, and he's fouled on the way back up.
Smart decision by Sharkazy there. He had the ball. He had 3 defenders all over him, but he knew if he went up, chances are he would get a slap on the arm, and that's exactly what happened.
Team fouls are even at 6, so both teams will be in the bonus if there are any further fouls in the half. Sharkazy 2 for 2 on that trip. Final minute of the first half. Pass came inside, loose ball, a foul is the call. And that will put White Plains at the line for a 1-and-1, Amari Miller.
I think Smith got that ball cleanly, but it came from around the side of the shooter, and there was a little too much body for the ref's liking.
Miller sinks the first.
Terry Bader back into the game, replacing Shane Smith.
Second one was off. Sharkazy with the rebound. Tigers are quickly enough they can try to go 2 for 1 here. Thomas out to Bader. Bader's 3 is just off. Rebound was by J.R. Norwood, who just checked in. Quick passing by White Plains. Murphy puts it up. It's rims around. Shot clock turned off. Manetta brings it up for Mamaroneck.
They will hold for a final shot up by 7 here, Rob.
Manetta with 15. Shot by Thomas, yes!
Well, when the open 3 presents itself, you can sort of forget about milking the clock at that point.
Trying to beat the buzzer is Hardy, and he can't do it. That got exciting at the end there. So after what had been a strong quarter for White Plains, Mamaroneck actually wins that quarter by a point. It leads up to 10. 32-22, we're halfway through this one. Second half coverage coming up next on LMC Varsity Sports. Return second half, Mamaroneck with possession. Manetta almost drove in, got it stolen quickly, and Thomas steals it right back. Thomas from the free throw line, no good, and rebound was picked up by Amari Miller. Murphy drives in fouled, and he'll head to the line for the first 2 free throws of the second half.
Frenetic pace just to start out here in the second half, Rob, but Thomas had the opportunity to pass it out to Bader on the wing and chose to pull up for the mid-range jumper. You want to get Bader going because he can shoot you right out of the gym. in a positive way. So we'll see if they make an adjustment there.
Murphy a 1-for-2 trip. That's a deficit back into single digits for White Plains. They now go into a press. Tigers work on breaking. They have 2 seconds. They get it done. Thomas for 3. It's in and out. Smith with a rebound, and he'll put it back in. Loose ball. Dove at by 4 players, picked up by Thomas. And that's an offensive foul. Easy call there for the official.
You can get away with that move sometimes, Rob, but he was a little too obvious with the shoulder as he took a step towards him and the shoulder and then went back to his left for the lay-in.
So Mamaroneck picks up 2 fouls in the first minute of the second half.
Got to be a little more sly with that maneuver, does Thomas.
Offensive foul drawn there away from the ball by Smith.
Smith may not have the scoring firepower that some of his teammates do, but he also just might be the smartest player on the floor. He knows exactly where to be, body positioning wise, and he does a fantastic job of defense.
Cross to Thomas. Bader, yes. Loose ball, almost the backcourt, and Hibbert able to settle it down. Across to Myeri. It was off of Miller, kicked back out to Hardy. His 3 no good. Myeri with the rebound. And White Plains able to reset here with a fresh clock. And I don't know how that was nothing, but apparently that was nothing.
Well, I have to say White Plains has to be happy with the non-call there because that had to be offensive.
I don't have ever seen that much contact and nothing called either way.
Although at the same time, Sarkozy did do a good job of once being contacted, flopping to the ground. I'm not saying it was a flop.
Trying to sell it at least.
Definitely. Thomas does a great job there, driving in the lane and absorbing the contact.
Inbound comes all the way up to Sarkozy. Manetta back out to Thomas, who lost possession for a second, got it back, and a good timeout call by Coach Carver to save the possession.
Thomas was doing a great job there of maintaining his dribble, which allows you to be able to return to your feet after going down Curly Neal style, a la the Harlem Globetrotters of our youth. But Coach Carver, standing right there, realized the trap was coming, and there was no way he was going to be able to dribble, get up, and do anything productive with the ball. So in order to maintain possession, he calls a timeout.
Also 2 minutes into the half here, maybe not exactly happy with the way his team's been playing, so not a bad time either to kind of refocus the troops while also saving a possession. Kind of kills 2 birds with 1 stone, or in this case, with 1 timeout.
There's a very tight rotation here tonight, Rob, with only 7 players getting any playing time, and with Ethan Renner coming back in his first appearance of the season. He hasn't played all that much either, so it's more like 5 and 2 halves because Tommy Martin and Ethan Renner have only gotten a few minutes yet.
Bader drives in, gets stripped, and picked back up by Smith. Across to Bader, he puts up a 3, it's no good. Back the other way with White Plains, it's Hardy. Behind the back dribble, kicked it back out. Murphy nearly lost it, did lose it as Sarkozy picks up the errant pass.
One thing you know about a Coach Carver-led team is it's going to have fantastic conditioning. So having a short rotation doesn't pose too much of a problem. It's more foul trouble that he has to worry about than conditioning.
Mineta now starts his way in, and he finishes for 2. Mamaroneck out to a 15-point lead now. And that prompts a timeout by Coach Mayfield for White Plains. So with 4:56 left, third quarter, 38-23 in favor of the hometown Tigers. We'll be right back on LMC TV. We return White Plains ball, just under 5 minutes left here in the third quarter. It's been all Mamaroneck in this quarter, just a single point scored by White Plains, and that won't change here. Offensive foul drawn by Isaiah Thomas.
Those types of maneuvers and court intelligence being displayed by Smith on multiple occasions, Sharkazy, now Thomas, that is another staple of a Tyrone Carver-led team, because when you don't have the horses necessarily that a Mount Vernon does.
Long inbound pass to Thomas, and he'll finish.
You need to be able to do whatever you can to gain an advantage, and drawing charges and playing tenacious defense are two main ways to do that.
Norwood in a bit of a hole. It's knocked out of bounds. Stay with White Plains.
Defense is all about discipline and hustle and effort. And that is something you always see out of a Mamaroneck Tigers squad.
Say that inbound pass kind of looked like the last play of the national championship game last night. I don't know if you saw it.
Yes, it was spectacular. I will not try and pronounce his last name right now.
Nope, can't do it. Hardy, under 10 to shoot. 5 seconds on the clock. Woodbury outside. Got to shoot it. Norwood for 3. It's off. Did hit the board, so no violation. Trying to float it in and drawing the foul with Sharkazy.
Shane Smith dominating the boards on both ends of the floor so far today. A big reason why they've been able to get this commanding 17-point lead.
Mamaroneck really taking over in this quarter, outscoring White Plains 8-1 so far.
For Mamaroneck, and he replaces Shane Smith.
Inbound comes to Sharkazy, spins around, puts it up, draws the foul, and sinks it.
What impressive determination from the senior, able to maintain his pivot foot, power up, power up, power up again, and then finally get the ball to roll in. Sorry, the junior. Don't want to age him up too quickly.
Can't complete the three-point play. Martin was battling for the rebound. Russo took it. Fresh into the game for White Plains. Hardy is back up top for Woodbury. Woodbury back in, puts it up, no good. Mineta back the other way. Unloads to Martin, some contact, and Sharkazy fouled.
It's always a positive thing when the point guard gets a loose ball on the defensive end, because that starts the break that much faster. That one pass can be the difference between the defense being in position or not. And Mineta does a great job of pushing the ball up the floor. You saw it in that example, and now Sharkazy's at the line again.
Makes the first, Renner back in, replacing Mineta.
He replaces James Mineta.
All right, give me the rebound now. Come on. Free throw.
Sharkazy 2 for 2 on that trip. It sounded like someone dropped a pocket full of change. Pay that man. Norwood, spin move inside, and makes it. White Plains backs off the press. Sharkazy Back out for Renner. Still 20 to shoot.
Stop that travel. You gonna call that travel?
Thomas. Bader, now Renner. Down to 10 seconds on the clock. Martin puts it up. And practically in. And then back out. Woodbury drives in no good off of Renner. Saved by Martin. Bader settles it down quickly. Works it up to Thomas. And that one will fall.
Isaiah Thomas, assisted with Jared Bader.
Interestingly, the White Plains fan section was calling for a travel on Thomas on that prior possession. He actually did a fantastic job of maintaining his pivot foot. You fans at home can go back with your DVRs and take a look at that. He did not lift his pivot foot, but that's how hard officiating can be.
If you're DVRing this game, I applaud you. Otherwise, it's on YouTube. Just rewind a few seconds, you can see.
Exactly.
So timeout, White Plains, 2:13 left, third quarter. Mamaroneck exploding here. They're up 21. We return 28 seconds on the shot clock, so White Plains with some time to set something up here. They need to turn things around quickly. Mamaroneck has really flexed their muscles here in this third quarter. That one rolls in and out. Rebound by Norwood. Tried to put it back up. It was picked up by Sharkazy and now brought up by Ethan Renner.
Good hustle by Norwood. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get the putback.
Martin just kind of threw it at the rim. Good enough.
Wild sort of freelance shot there by Tommy Martin, but it went down.
Long rainbow three is good by Jayon Norwood. That doubles White Plains' point output for the quarter. Thomas Plunkett fresh into the game. Sharkazy, no foul. Woodbury back the other way for White Plains. Cross to Hardy. Hardy puts up a three and it's good. Back to a 17-point game as that one quickly comes up to Martin, who tips it to Coach Carver, who is not playing right now.
Sharkacy with the slight miscalculation there as he closed out on Hardy. He tried to keep his arm cocked so he can go for the emphatic swat. When with his length, you want to close out on the defender with your arm extended to either disrupt his vision or at least get a piece of the ball. It doesn't need to be sent back into the stands. He went for the more flashy block.
Would have been cool.
It would have looked cool if he had gotten it.
That one knocked away by Plunkett.
Out of someone with so much fundamentals like Sharkazy has, it's just something he needs to think about in the future, especially against teams like Mount Vernon.
Inbound comes to Hardy. He puts up another three, and Hardy is heated up.
Hardy with 15 points now, almost half the offensive output of White Plains.
This is Vendetta. Shot clock, game clock, nearly identical, about 3/4 of a second difference. And that will change here. It'll shut it off now. White Plains will have 20 seconds before the quarter expires.
Of course, I mentioned Hardy's output. Have to bring up Will Sharkazy with 20 points on the night so far here with 20 seconds left in the third.
And number 2 for White Plains, Isaiah Murphy. Who replaces Alex Myrie.
Well, Coach Carver's not happy about something.
They allowed the substitution when they shouldn't have. They had already handed the player out of bounds the ball, and they allowed Coach Mayfield to make a substitution of that player, no less.
Right. Murphy trying to beat the buzzer, can't. That shot won't count. So things got a bit out of hand, but then some hot three-point shooting. Going to narrow the deficit a bit for White Plains, who trail by over 20 points. They now trail by 14 with 8 minutes left. It's 48-34 Mamaroneck. fourth quarter coverage coming up next on LMC TV. It's a White Plains possession, trailing by 14 to start this fourth quarter. And offensive foul. Will Sharkazy making his presence known once again. That's a 17th foul on White Plains. It was offensive, so no shooting, but that does put Mamaroneck in the bonus.
And that really will be the death knell for White Plains, down by 14.
And you can't foul now.
And now you can't foul.
Bader inside could get it to fall. Second opportunity for Smith.
You can hear from the fans just how excited they get when Shane Smith scores a basket.
That one did not hit the rim. And good pass gets it into Miller for two.
Shane Smith does basically everything else on the court except score. So anytime he gets a basket, they feel that's rewarding him in the stat sheet. I'm sure he's just as happy getting a rebound, if not happier. Or a charge.
Sharkazy inside Bader, two more.
Bader, assist by Will Sharkazy.
Norwood out to Hardy. Down to Woodbury. Hardy. It's got to be something. It's a foul.
A little bit of a Euro step move there by Hardy. Shane Smith wasn't going to allow him to get any further, any closer to the basket, that is. Hardy's parents calling out from the stands that he was shooting on that play.
I don't think he was.
I think he intended to, but that would have been a stretch even by NBA standards.
Inbound comes to Hardy. Across Norwood. Back to Norwood. Hardy again. From the corner was Myeri. Now it comes back up top for Norwood. Woodbury drives in, puts it up, it rolls out. And a nice putback by Miller.
Basket scored by Amari Miller.
Sharkazy found Martin on the run. Count the basket. Teed up Mayfield.
They did. He was not happy with that continuation, and I think he felt that
maybe
Martin,
maybe a step too long for continuation.
Right.
I might agree with you there.
Martin might have given a little bit of a forearm shiver to the defender as he was going up. You're not going to get that call, but continuation, maybe these away fans have a little bit of an argument.
Martin makes the first tech free throw. So 1 for 2 on the technical free throws, and now he'll take the one here and the first time.
And then they'll have possession.
Right, the Mamaroneck gets the ball
so.
back because of the technical, so no need to occupy the lanes. So 2 for 3.
And it's now an 18-point lead with 6:19 remaining. They could push it to 20 or even 21 here with this possession. I can understand why the White Plains fans are so upset, but I don't really feel that they have a case on that one. But when you have a struggling season like the storied basketball program of White Plains is having, things just don't seem to go your way, as we're seeing here today.
It's a tough league they're in, too, not just because of Mount Vernon, but every team in the league is always tough. Scarsdale, White Plains, Mamaroneck,
New Rochelle.
It's a tough league, and if you're on the top of your game, it's going to be a rough year. As Norwood with a nice floating shot.
Basket by Jay on Norwood.
And oh no, Sharkazy's down. And they'll check on him. We'll be right back. So will Sharkazy able to walk off as there will look like an ankle injury? This one comes up to Renner quickly, and he finishes.
Great contortion there by the junior. Able to get clear of the rim and lay it in.
Driving in no good by Hardy, but a foul.
Foul on Shane Smith. That's
Smith.
Foul.
I thought it would have been on Renner trying to take a charge.
So
And that's Smith's fifth. He's done. Fouled out.
well, he definitely made the most of his evening.
It says 5 on the scoreboard. It sounds like.
He's not going to come out until they drag him off the floor, and they are doing that now, reminding him once again that he needs to step off the playing surface.
So
Thomas will check back in.
So now I guess we've got a lineup where Bader is your de facto center. We'll see if this causes any problems.
3 was off. Try to save it. Stepped out. Did Alex Mayeri. So Tiger ball. Mamaroneck Tiger ball.
Down by 18 here in the fourth quarter. White Plains has scored 6 to Mamaroneck's 8. They're going to have to figure out a way to get some stops. And now that they can milk the clock, that's going to make it even more difficult for White Plains to even mount a comeback here.
Manetta. The adjustment couldn't get it to fall.
Fantastic jump stop move there by Manetta, but he was not able to get it to fall.
One hand layup, no good by Woodbury.
Again, no reason to push it.
Renner's 3 a bit short. Fouled on his way up was Norwood, so he'll be shooting 2.
Mamaroneck foul against Jared Bader. That's Bader's third foul. Mamaroneck's fifth in the period. Shooting 2 shots. Jay on Norwood.
First one off the back iron.
For White Plains, number 2, Isaiah Murphy, and number 10, Antonio Barcasel.
Second one's good for Norwood. 4:45 left. Thomas now in triple coverage and a perfectly used timeout.
Very smart.
Right before a jump ball call certainly would have come in.
Very smart call by Carver to maintain possession of the ball and the possession arrow by using that timeout.
As does White Plains.
So Mamaroneck up 17. 4:37 left to go. They'll have the ball when we get back on LMC TV. Well, Sharkazy must be all right. He's back in the game. He's got the ankle taped up, and he's back at it.
Moving pretty well, too.
He's a forward center type, so doesn't need to move too much. Pass came inside, back out to Manetta. Thought about the 3, takes a long 2, and it's off, tipped around, and a foot out of bounds.
Over the back on Tommy Martin. It's a nice move when you have those vertical leap ability like Tommy Martin does. I can understand why you go for that, but all the player you're jumping over has to do is jump up.
Sharkazy couldn't get a call there. Pass comes up to him. He tried to get it back to Martin. It was tipped. And fouled on his way up there is Thomas. As that one got a little wild and crazy.
Little bit of Keystone Cops passing there, but it all worked out as Thomas was able to race to the ball and to the rim and get the foul.
2 shots.
He'll shoot 2. Double bonus now, Mamaroneck, so even if it was on the floor, it would have been 2 shots. He'll make the first.
Isaiah Thomas has always had a really nice soft touch anywhere on the court, whether laying it in or at the line or even from 3.
Makes both. Mamaroneck up 19 with 4 minutes left to go. Hardy loses it. Still loose on the floor. That might be a jump ball, and it is. And Mamaroneck gets the ball back.
Wise decision by the refs to call a jump ball. That was going to get ugly if Sharkisy had to go to the ground there on top of the White Plains players.
Another long pass. Bader had to stop to catch it. Shot went off the bottom of the rim. Long three put up by Murphy is good.
Well, I was going to say it's going to take some miraculous outside shooting from White Plains to make a game of it, and that is the start.
Meta up top will reset. Mamaroneck quite content to run some clock at this stage.
Up by 16, there's going to be 3 minutes left at the end of this possession.
Manetta still not attacking, under 10 seconds to shoot, and that'll be a backcourt, or if he touched it, otherwise it's out of bounds. Actually was off of Barcasel, so Mamaroneck has the ball, 4 seconds on the shot clock. See if they even try or just take the violation. Oh, they'll try. Goes out of bounds.
Well,
it stays with Mamaroneck, but the shot clock is down to 0.
Coach Carver has his arms raised. He can't believe that they did not call that as a foul.
Looked like one could have been called from here.
But frankly, the shot clock violation isn't even such a bad thing, because if they can burn, say, the next 4 possessions, 30 seconds off the clock.
They've put 1 second back on the clock. That'll be a catch and shoot. Gets it to Manetta. He has no time to shoot. That'll do it for the possession. Good job by White Plains there to kind of lock it down.
But again, 4 30-second clock windings, and that's 2 of the 3 minutes. So there isn't much chance of White Plains making much happen. Of course, I do remember just on my Facebook feed today,
that one was deflected.
Was the anniversary of Nevada scoring 14 points in a minute 40.
It would still be quite something. Manetta couldn't finish. Norwood. Long range 3 is good by Isaiah Murphy.
What Nevada did to enable that comeback to happen is immediately foul and live with the fact that the other team was missing all their free throws. If the other team had made their free throws, it wouldn't have happened. That's a miraculous comeback, one for the ages, really. In order to make that happen, though, you cannot let Mamaroneck just dribble out the clock.
Right. Well, 2.5 minutes left on the clock. 60-47 in favor of the home team. We'll be right back with the rest when we get back on LMC TV. Mamaroneck possession here as we return to the timeout. White Plains pressing, and Mamaroneck breaks it easily. Bader trips up, looked over his own feet.
I think he caught the toe of Hardy. So that's why they
called a foul on Hardy. Good spot by the refs. I didn't see it. With a double bonus here, Bader gets to shoot too.
Frankly, that's essentially what they want to have happen here. Bader makes both free throws. Of course, it's a failed attempt, but for White Plains, that is. But paying dividends so far as Bader misses the first there, and so you can't say that they're out of it. It is only a 13-point lead for Mamaroneck.
Bader sinks that one. Hardy, Bader got a hand on that. Didn't go anywhere.
Murphy, who's been hitting from 3, in some traffic, took some steps. Inbound comes to Bader. Martin and Bader. Got to get it over in a couple seconds. They will. Bader to Shark as he loose ball, and it's picked up by Hardy. Quickly up to Norwood. He's fouled on the way up.
We've seen that happen quite a few times tonight. If there's one thing to pick apart in what Mamaroneck has done execution-wise, is a lot of passes are on the back hip of their teammate, and it's very hard to maintain forward progress when you're trying to slow everything down just to get the ball. Bader's had that happen to him, and in that play, he made that happen to Sharkisy. That's something you can't get away with as they get closer to postseason play.
Norwood's first, no good. Second one goes.
He has 9 points on the day, does Norwood. He's been a good contributor.
Thomas in stride. All ball on the contact. The White Plains forces the turnover, and they get the bucket and the foul. Antonio Barcasel had the basket. Foul wasn't necessary. Shot was clean.
A little bit over-aggressive on the defensive play, considering you were up by 13 at the time. Now they can cut it to a 10-point game with 1:35 remaining.
They can't do it, and a good job by Thomas to come up with that rebound.
Why they're not fouling is beyond me.
Mamaroneck can take it down to a minute on this possession. They so choose. Bader heaves up a 3. It's no good. Offensive rebound. They can chew a lot of clock here if White Plains doesn't foul. Kind of feels like old-time basketball before they put in the shot clock. That 3 is good by Thomas. Mamaroneck took a good 45, 50 seconds off the clock.
12 points on the game for Thomas. He should not have given up that 3 to him. They should have fouled him about 30 seconds earlier. And now with only 53 seconds up by 14, you've essentially killed your chances. Where it was an 11-point game, if they had fouled, pick a player, Shane Smith, anyone, if the ball had gone into their hands and they had missed both free throws, then all of a sudden you hit a 3 on the other end. It's an 8-point game with over a minute left. That's a competitive ball game. Now up by 14 with under a minute, you can pretty much kiss the game goodbye. Well, this is a good victory, assuming the victory in hand for Mamaroneck. This is a game they had to win because it's not going to be quite as easy against the likes of Scarsdale, New Rochelle, and Mount Vernon, who are all upcoming for them.
And not to mention Rye in the first round of their tournament, they kind of rejiggered the matchups this year. Usually it seems like almost every year it's Mamaroneck Rye in the championship game.
Yeah.
They're playing in the first round on Friday night.
At
it should
10
be
and
fun.
0, it's going to be quite a battle for Mamaroneck. That's going to be the first test in the section that they will have.
That's going to be one you want to watch out for. We'll have coverage. Offensive foul.
Well, Isaiah Thomas felt every bit.
He was being worked on during the timeout, too. So
that offensive foul as he went to the ground, crumbling in a heap.
That Mamaroneck Rye game, we'll have coverage of that next weekend. You can see it here on LMC TV and, of course, on our YouTube channel at lmctv.org as well. Renner able to get rid of that one and avoid the foul. And Thomas will finish for 2 more. 16-point lead without the shot clock now.
Smart decision by Thomas to keep that. He had lost the ball for just a second.
Loose ball.
He probably would have fumbled the pass to Bader, and then that could have been an unfortunate turnover, which would have given the slightest glimmer of hope to White Plains.
And now White Plains fouls. At this point, I'm not really sure why. Kind of on principle, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if they had been employing this 2 minutes ago, then you would have totally understood. Just continually foul, free throw, possession, foul, free throw, possession, and that would have worked out better than anything else they could have done. Not sure if it's a decision that Coach Mayfield made based on the fact that maybe he felt the game was in hand for his friend Coach Carver, or if he just decided to play them straight up.
Miles Hardy, that was his 5th foul, so he's fouled out. And Renner makes the first.
Tough night for a very good player with 15 points on the evening before fouling out.
That one, that's a hometown roll. Another 3, Rainbow is good. Murphy again. Clock still running.
Murphy with 3 threes here in the fourth quarter.
Steve, I have a question. You're down 15 points with 7 seconds left. Do you foul?
No. I think that was a little bit more over-aggressive defense by Barkasel, but nonetheless, you've got to sort of concede defeat at a certain point. And he definitely gave a hard shot to Renner on top of that, who I don't think was expecting that level of contact.
Renner does go 1 for 2 on that trip. And we're down to 6 seconds left. Murphy, can he make another one? No, and out of bounds with a half second to go.
Sharkisy held scoreless in the fourth quarter, mainly because of that injury. Took him out.
So that will do it. Mamaroneck with a very strong second half. They pick up the win 69-53 over White Plains. They improved to 8-2 on the season. They drop White Plains to 4-7.
For White Plains,
Sharkisy ended up with 20 on the night. Bader just behind him with 12. Renner with 7. Of course, those free throws towards the end helped that. Isaiah Thomas scored 9. And then Tommy Martin with 6 and James Mineta with 2. A nice balanced scoring, basically exactly the way you wanted it. Would have liked to have seen Bader go off a little more from outside, but that's the thing about an outside shooter. They're not going to have it at every night.
Right. Well, make sure you do stick around. We'll have the postgame show coming up next. We'll talk with Coach Carver. We'll grab a player as well. That's coming up next. Make sure you stick around at LMC Varsity Sports.
Back in the postgame show, joined now by the Tigers' leading scorer tonight, Will Sharkisy. Will, especially that first half, you really had it going on inside. How'd you feel out there?
Well, like last few games, I couldn't seem to get the ball in, so I really focused more and slowed down my game and really tried to make sure that every shot went in. Yeah, focused really hard on the layups.
Big league game here tonight against White Plains. Got to feel good to get a win in such a tough league.
Yeah, we improved to 8-2, which is one of our best records in the last few years, and it's big. We lost to them last time we played them at the end of last year, and it was a tough defeat after beating them by 30 in our last year, the first time we played them, so it means a lot, and I've played with a few of those guys before, so it was nice to take it to them.
You got a tough game coming up in a few days against Rye in the first round of the tournament. You know, that's going to be a battle. How excited are you to face an undefeated team?
I mean, it's great. It means that we have to step up to a new challenge and play a hard team, a really good three-point shooting team, and we lost to them last year in the championship of the Tiger Tournament in double OT, and that game sucked, so we really want to bring it to them this year.
So I'm here with Coach Carver. Coach, that was a really impressive performance from a wide array of players that you put on the floor. Sharkazy with 20 points. And talk about Shane Smith and the game that he had.
Shane is what we call the glue guy. He keeps it all together. His hard work, his help defense, his rebounding, his extra passes, he just really does everything well, and we really, really are glad he's on our side.
We talked about during the broadcast that a Carver-led team is always going to have fantastic conditioning, and that really seemed to play itself out. You only really played an 8-man rotation, but no one really seemed to wane in the later part of the game.
You know what, we got to be in shape. I told the kids way back in September that when November came that we need to be in the best shape of our life. And we've been pushing that. The kids have been working extremely hard, and I'm glad we got this quality win today.
Coach, we've gotten to know each other over the years, so I know exactly what your mentality is about next man up, but you have to admit your heart had to skip a little bit of a beat when you saw Sharkazy go down in a heap.
Absolutely. Any of our players, absolutely. No question about it. We always worry about our players being healthy. We've battled with so many injuries in the beginning parts of this season. So your heart skips a beat for a moment there, but I'm glad he's okay.
If anything, I recall that was the exact same story as last season. So you guys are a little battle tested that way, players and coaches.
It's been even more this year. I think maybe we've had all 12 guys practice for 2 weeks throughout the course of the year at this point.
Well, that's tough, definitely. Coach Mayfield is an old friend of yours, so you guys had a nice battle between both of you, and he definitely tested you coming back, disrupting what was a commanding lead. Did you feel at any point that the game was getting away from you? Did you change up your strategy at all?
No, we didn't change our strategy. Listen, we don't take a breath at all when it comes to a Spencer Mayfield team. So we knew that regardless of what the lead was, that they were going to keep coming until the zeros was on the clock. So we just continue to preach to the kids to continue to work until it's all said and done.
So we talked about before the game that you really feel that this is where you want it to be, but you of course have higher hopes for this roster. Where do you see the next couple weeks as you get deeper into league play?
We want to take it one day at a time, one game at a time. Right now, we've been fortunate to win 8 out of our first 10 games. We got a big opponent coming in here on Friday, and we'll just take it from there.
Rob Moretti back here with Steve Anastas wrapping up a 69-53 win for Mamaroneck over White Plains in boys basketball. And Steve, a game Mamaroneck really played, the first maybe 4 minutes were somewhat even between these two teams, and the rest of the way from there on out, Mamaroneck really was in control.
The thing that I was most encouraged to see was that Jared Bader shot fine. He didn't really have a shooting stroke. Isaiah Thomas made some outside shots, but really they didn't rely on the outside shot in order to become victorious and to get that lead. They really actually relied more on Sharkazy than anything, which of course is smart coaching by Coach Carver to go down low when he is not challenged in height. And so they were able to sort of change up a little bit of their normal MO and become victorious that way. And that's the best sign that a team can have, to be able to play against the other team's weakness and still be victorious.
It's going to be really interesting to see here on Friday when they face a team in Rye that does excel at the outside shooting. We'll see if Sharkazy becomes a factor then.
And Rye has some size down low, so that is going to be difficult for Sharkazy. And their balance coming in at 10-0, as of today anyway, is going to be a true test for this Mamaroneck squad.
Well, that'll do it for us here on LMC Varsity Sports. The CEO of LMC TV is Eric Lewis. The COO is Matt Sullivan. The community sports producer is me, Rob Moretti. The cameras on tonight's game, Stephen Brianti, Chris Lavinia, and BJ Persimperi. One more time alongside Steve Anastas, I'm Rob Moretti saying thanks for watching. And the Mamaroneck White Plains rivalry continues next on the wrestling mat. That match next on LMC Varsity Sports. Stay tuned.